Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a single leg hip thrust. I'm going to show you on this armchair because that's probably what you have at home. You can use a sofa or a bed to do it. In the gym, you can obviously use a bench. So a single leg hip thrust is a great way of getting more load onto your hips and onto your glutes without actually adding load, and a great way of doing a single leg variation. If by now you have done the glute bridge and then the single leg glute bridge as part of my intermediate program, then this will feel really, really familiar because we've already done a hip thrust quite a lot until now, and now we're doing a single leg hip thrust. So it's the same concept of doing it with two legs and then with one. So when we did our regular hip thrust, by the way, you want something that when you are up in this tabletop position, the back of your back is about the same height as your knees. It doesn't matter a few centimeters here or there, but you want something that's pretty much that kind of height. So in the hip thrust, we want to have our upper back on the sofa or whatever we're using, and so we don't want to be sliding down like this. We want to be able to get our armpits above the sofa, feet hip width apart, and feet slightly wider than hip width apart, so about shoulder width apart, and toes pointing out and the knees going out over the toes, right? So this is our hip thrust position. In a single leg hip thrust, what we want to do is bring our feet together, and then we're going to lift one leg up off the floor. So what you might want to do is hinge up first, get comfortable. This is really uncomfortable with the arms here, so a sofa might be a better choice, but I don't have a sofa in my studio. So we take one leg up off the ground. This is probably the best setup position. Then you're going to lower yourself down. You want to kind of just kiss the floor with your bottom and then push all the way up. Okay, so we're going to press all the way into that foot and really squeeze up so that our hip is at the same height as our knee and our shoulder. So if I show you on the other side, when we want to switch sides, we just put one foot next to the other, lift the other one up. We're going to lift all the way up. Okay, this is a really strong movement. I'm feeling a lot in my bum, but also in the front of my thigh. I'll be really impressed if you can do more than 10 on each side, but you can definitely try and build up the number of reps over the course of a month or two. With this movement, you usually don't need to add any weight. If you're lifting all the way up through to the top, then it should be a really great exercise for your hips. But you can, of course, add weight if you want to, and if you get to sort of 15 reps and you feel like you want something even more challenging. So that was a single leg hip thrust.